intellectual and cerebral departments. Now, you have been found guilty of engaging in blatant violation of the Apochrystus Code. You are now placed under arrest.
Yes, that was Ket Quangler. Don't be misled by appearances, for Ket wasn't an earthbound mortal. He was an apocrastinist, guardian angel of the earth. As the third planet of the solar system began to exhibit potential for life, forces across the galaxy recognized the need to assign the planet protectors to guide it through the trying times ahead. Thus came into existence the apocrastinists. For a better part of Earth's history, their work had been pretty routine, warding off stray celestial objects, magnetic disturbances, and the like. But problems began cropping up with the advent of hominids 1.5 million years ago. While some felt that the promise of a sufficiently technologically advanced civilization signaled that their tenure was coming to an end, most apochrystalists were adamant that their role had never been as vital for now. With the birth of human mind, there was 1,000 more ways the earth could meet its end. A thought matrix Numeron was thus commissioned, which could compute correlations between events occurring on Earth and the odds that it would be destroyed. These correlations would be translated into tasks or assignments, which would be taken up by the interveners of the various departments of the Brotherhood, who, unknown to their mortal acquaintances, lived double lives as humans and apocrastinists. But as would be expected, things don't always go smoothly.
Greetings, Mr. Quangler.
Greetings, Director.
Am I right in assuming that you're aware of the purpose of the little meeting we're having today? You sent a memo.
Oh yeah, you sent a memo, all right. But very frankly speaking, the 534th invitation to your Facebook quiz, how screwed are you, would have sufficed rather well.
Always the funny man. Did I not tell you, Tachyona? I haven't done the introductions. This is Tachyona. She's going to be our interrogation specialist. And that is Ludogos Kapla, third-degree intervener from the Department of Love, Sex, and all that mush.
Hello. Hello.
And for formality's sake, Mohammed Diaz at your service.
Oh, honor.
Well, Kat, you see, we folk aren't unfair. We know that your last assignment was slightly out of your domain. You normally handle matters relating to the protection and presentation of the creative geniuses down at Earth. And hitching people up isn't normally your cup of tea. But since you knew both the parties involved, that is Professor Null Selensatz and Miss Cupidstone, we really thought you'd do a good job. But since we can't prosecute you over your failure to do the task, we have Mr. Kapla here to analyze and find out whether we could prosecute you at all on one ground or another. Mr. Kapla?
Well, sir, granted that not everybody has the ability, my ability, to melt the hardest of hearts at the face of the uncomeliest of faces.
Now that definitely explains your textbook narcissism, sir.
Ket is an anarchist of sorts. It's never been one for pleasantries. Wait, do you two know each other?
Better than you'd ever imagine, sir.
That is fantastic. So why didn't you tell me before? This whole thing might be over quicker than I thought. So where were we?
So as I was saying, granted, not everybody is as talented at hitching together the unlikeliest of couples, not as I am anyway. Granted, given that, still there is strong evidence that Ket here deliberately attempted to sabotage the operation. And as though that wasn't enough, there is strong evidence that he acted against sections 2 and 3 of page 6 of the Apochrystus Code concerning relations with humanity.
I see. So Ket, that is the conclusion that we've reached. You will now be required to provide your defense. Tachyona will be taking over.
Thank you, sir.
Wait. What if I'm just fed up of all this shit and directly confess right here and right now that yes, I have flouted the sacred rules which form the very foundation of our brotherhood? I mean, wouldn't it just make life easier for everyone?
I'm afraid not. Providing defense is a legal requirement. Failure to comply is an offense. And considering the charges against you, Mr. Quagler, certainly not privileged. May I call you Cat?
Cat, please. So you mean to say I'm going to be in deeper shit if I don't defend?
Yes, that's right.
But if I don't have any defense whatsoever?
Well then, I suggest that you merely recount the events that have taken place over the past few days. Yes, that would be most excellent.
Whatever floats your boat.
A moment, Cat. You'll have to take this.
And this would be?
Silver tongue. Truth drug.
Oh, I've since long made it a point not to make any sense of the rampant lunacy which goes on here. But there are these moments which just wow me, I say.
I have a few control questions here
Ah,
for you.
Tachyon, please, if I may have the honor. After all, I've known Katya for quite some time. Certainly deserve the honor.
Excuse me, I certainly don't approve of...
Question 1. Your grandmother. She still refers to you as Ketish Mughals. And she still insists that you look both ways before crossing the road. Is this true?
Yes.
Question 2. Moving on. When you lost your bet with sister over whether the Riemann-Zeta hypothesis would be proved by the end of the last century, and in accordance with the rules of the bet, you had to wear a pink tank top to work. Were you not aroused?
Yes, but that was not...
Question 3. It was you who was responsible for the graffiti outside the director's office, the same one that proclaimed gay, obstinate dunderhead. True?
Yeah.
What?
Seriously.
That was you?
Well, that is me all right, but why so worked up? I mean, you have more severe charges to screw me by.
You don't tell me what is severe and what is not. It was bring your daughter to work day. You have no idea what irreparable trauma you had inflicted on my little girl.
Enlighten me, I was never aware when jumping around shouting, "Yay, daddy got owned in glee," came to be regarded as a symbol of irreparable mental trauma.
Shut up. Shut up, alright? I should have known. Tachyon.
No, sir. We can't let ourselves be sidetracked. This case has to be sorted
This
out.
man is not to be trusted. But you, mind you, any claim for sympathy for you is effectively chucked out of the window. You are totally screwed.
Well, I shall forever lament the great loss that this would be for me. Thank you. So, Mr. Tachyon, where should I start? With the director approaching me with the ridiculous suggestion that if Zahal and Enya don't fall in love, this planet is going to meet its untimely end as soon as a week from now?
This is a joke for you, right? I mean, Numeron clearly predicted that.
For heaven's sake, do you even have the slightest inkling of how the thought matrices even operate?
By what authority do you even dare ask that?
By the authority of the chief technical advisor of the design committee of Project Numeron. Kindly take the pains of going through my CV sometime.
Bullshit.
Well, let me clarify this once and for all. Numeron, or for that matter any thought matrix, is just incapable of making any predictions. It merely computes correlations, and as any sane person would know, correlation is not causation.
So you're implying that the Numeron is nothing more than a worthless centerpiece gracing the hallowed premises of our headquarters?
Nay, I'm merely trying to say that having a thought matrix to drudge over the cartloads of data you pour into it is just no reason to chuck reason overboard. I mean, for all we know, your obsession of poking your nose in every imaginable human affair, right from stock market to the morning ablutions, but actually aggravate the situation at hand.
Get. Now why do I get the feeling that you seem to have forgotten that I am singularly responsible for the fact that humans are even there in the first place?
This is the pebble you threw at the charging Brontosaurus? Yeah, that surely helped.
Elementary to your theory, damn it. You know as well as I do that the flap of a butterfly's wing in Tokyo can trigger
A worldwide water extravaganza which only an old dude with his bunch of animals survived. I mean, we all remember that delightful episode, sir. Thank you.
Contrary to popular belief, I do not derive any particular joy in sending down earthquakes and floods and plagues on predetermined occasions. I have far more serious issues to be concerned about.
Twinkle, twinkle.
Hi, sweetheart. I'll do the dishes when I get home now. I'll put the kids in bed. Listen, I'm in the middle of something. Vacuuming the hall? Yes, I remember. Okay, wash the kids, put the dishes in bed. Oh, no, the other way around. Yeah, I'll get back to you, right? I have to go now. Bye, sweetheart. Love you too. You're the best. As I was saying, I have far more serious issues to be concerned about than having to remind you every minute or so that you, dear sir, are increasingly being a challenge to my position requirement of omni-tolerating bullshitness. Enough of this tomfoolery. You are going to regard all the events that took place on Earth following our last meeting, minus the insufferable air of arrogant superiority that you, dear sir, take great care to thrust in my face at every opportunity you seem to get your hands on. Do I make myself clear, Mr. Catfish Nobles?
Clear as day, Director. Clear as day. Assignment. Get Zal Lulston Sats and Inya Crinklestone hitched. Complication 1. Inya is committed to Ovi. Well, that's the easier part. Oi! Ovi! Ovi?
Hey, Ket, long time no see.
You look perturbed.
India gets off from the next train.
Things are not going well between you guys, I see.
Well, you see, today I was doing what I'm good at.
And that would be womanizing, right, left, and center.
Yeah. I was on a lunch with this girl at the Gumani when India walked in on us. I just made up an excuse and ran for my life. But I'll have to face her someday. Maybe if I just fall at her feet and beg for mercy, I will be forgiven.
Wishful thinking. Situations like these can always be a tricky business.
I have to face my fears.
So you have to. Oh, there she comes. Fare thee well, Voyager.
India. I know, yesterday must have been a freak show.
It was. Still kind of is.
But I can explain, I swear.
Oh, I'll understand.
Well,
But I can't deny that it certainly came as a shock to me that you do have a refined palate after all. I really didn't think you would into escargot and all that exotic stuff.
wait. You do realize that I was on a date with another woman, that I was bloody cheating on you?
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I realized.
So aren't we supposed to be ordering your lungs out or something?
Wait, they actually do that? I
Oh,
thought that was only in the theaters.
oh, holy crap. What have I been committed to all this while?
There's no need to get agitated. I get it. That's what you want. Omi, you have been a bad boy.
That's it. Bad boy.
Okay. Omi, you have been a very bad.
Goodness. Here I am, the most twisted specimen of a womanizer who has duped nearly every woman he's met in his lifetime. And here you're calling me a bad boy? Does that even begin to capture the breadth of my depravity?
I know I'm kind of terrible at the stuff.
Kind of terrible. Kind of terrible.
Trying, for heaven's sake. But maybe if you ask Pamphylia nicely, maybe she'll follow her lungs out.
You know Pamphylia? You know Pamphylia? How the sap do you know Pamphylia?
Not really. I just ran into her at the Mowgli circus the other night. Recognized her as the woman you were having lunch with. And as is typical, we got all chit-chat. He talked about all kinds of stuff, including you, obviously. She seems to like you rather a lot. But then she started bringing up really random choices for conversation. Like how many hacks it would take for a katana to cut through a guy's neck. Kind of weird choice of conversation, don't you think?
But you have ruined me. Our relationship is over. Goodbye. Never even bother seeing me again. Oh my God. Oh my God.
It's supposed to be crying, right?
There.
Hi, kids. How have you been? When did you get here?
Where do you cry?
Oh, yeah.
Going through a rough patch lately, I guess.
Yeah. It's certainly a remarkable coincidence how I always seem to end up with the choicest of the madhouse. I mean, it makes me wonder, is there a dearth of
congratulations.
Honey, for all the normalcy you exhibit, anyone trusting your judgment of the same deserves to die a slow and painful death.
No, trust me on this. This guy is normal. Very normal.
Who?
Zal Nullsten Sachs.
I don't know.
How would you know unless you give it a shot?
Oh, my train's here. I gotta go. Call me.
Okay. Well, that was merely some elementary probability manipulation. All child's play. But complication 2, self-explanatory.
I tell you, kid, everyone here is thinking I'm burning out, unable to produce even a single significant result over the past 5 years. Kid, I'm only 31, not even reached my prime numbers yet.
I sense you had the tiff with the dean again.
Affirmative, my friend. He refuses to let me continue at Vedanthic unless I have regular sessions with my psychiatrist. And my psychiatrist, he refuses to let me give piggyback rides unless I mingle up with his Philistines. This is a plebeian society that celebrates itself.
But you are onto something, aren't you?
I am. Listen to this conjecture. There exists a homomorphism between a unicorn with a single horn of genus 2 and the interpolation of the WTF squared space by the elements of flying spaghetti monster group.
I guess it is as impressive as it sounds.
Again, it is spectacular. But the corollary that immediately follows is that angelic beings cannot exist.
What?
As I said, spectacular.
Are you sure you haven't made a mistake or something?
There is this one point that the whole that refuses to get patched up. I have been wrecking my brain into smithyings for past few months.
I hate to break this to you, but have you actually considered the possibility that your conjecture might just be totally false?
And that is why we should always be taken in moderation.
We need to discuss something.
I don't care if your counter-arguments dance naked in front of me. Any statement you make negating the truth of this conjecture will be effectively filtered out.
No, Zal, we need to have a discussion about your love life.
Actually, that's what Professor Sackfrinzip said when he gave me those flowers and chocolates. Are you going to give me chocolates too? I just love chocolates. That would be mighty great of me.
Zal, you misconstrue me. I mean, you need to find a date, a girlfriend.
How much is my psychiatrist pay?
What?
How much?
No, now listen, Zal. You go there, calm down and sit. Sit. Now, we are going to lay down a few axioms on the table. Axiom 1, Zal does not make all these ad hoc assumptions.
These are not ad hoc. Do I look like a physicist to you?
Axiom 2, Zal does not speak until Ket finishes or is explicitly asked to speak. Good. Now listen. What is the average age of a mathematician?
80.
Okay. So what is the average age of a, oh my freaking god, how could you even think of that mathematician?
35.
Okay. And how old are you again, Zal?
31. Oh my!
Bingo! I mean, you're the only child of your parents. And your parents are dead. No, Zal, look at me. Calm down. Breathe. Breathe. Your aunt is well past menopause. And the only child born to her was still born. Within 4 years, all traces of the great mind that sits before me shall vanish. Your DNA shall make its permanent exit from the world's gene pools. Unless
I procreate.
Right. So you're going for your first date tomorrow evening at 7. I will be taking you.
Excuse me, but I don't understand how a date would help. I mean, I do have a basic understanding of human biology, right?
This is the ultimate part. Axiom 3, God does not say anything other than yes or no tomorrow. Ket does all the talking.
कौन? हाँ? नींद आ रही है ना, ओके। अभी ये वाला रिकॉर्ड कर लो, उसके बाद आ जाना ब्रेक में। मैं निकलता हूँ, बहुत तेज नींद आ रही है।
What's the matter?
There are people all around me.
Of course there will be people all around. This is a restaurant.
You said nothing to prepare me about this torrential flood of humanity. And what is this outrageous get-up you have gotten me into? I'll just look like a common idiot.
Don't be silly. Everyone here is wearing that.
Exactly my point.
Zal, you need to stop scribbling on
But
the
I have always
things.
done it. I've
Zal,
always...
give that to me.
Hey.
Now, listen. When she comes, you say in the evening, you are looking very pleasant today. And then, you say nothing other than yes or no. Yes for a stomp on the right, no for a stomp on the left. Do I make myself clear?
Clear.
Now, there she comes. Smart enough. Never mind, just be yourself.
Hi. Sorry I'm a little late. Ran into a tiny mishap. This stack cat just ran by me splashing water all over. Oh, hi, you must be Zal.
Good evening. You look very pleasant today.
That's really sweet, but you can be honest. Don't worry. I know I look horrible. I'll just go to the restroom and freshen up.
Anya, wait a minute. By any chance, was that car a black sedan with taxidermia rental cabs written on it?
Yeah, how did you know?
Oh, I see, I see. Zal, have this apple. Hey, here, you can go freshen up. I'll be back.
Maybe I should stay till he gets back. Wouldn't be very polite leaving you here alone, would it?
Yes.
So, Kat told me stuff. Mathematician, huh?
Yes.
You prick! That was you, right?
Oh, please, brother. Is that woman inside who really thought we could have a boat to pick up with? But nothing against you.
But I have against you. Now you are going to sit into that cab quietly and drive away. Do I make myself clear?
I won't.
You won't?
You heard that right. I'm not budging.
Now, things are gonna get ugly.
Did you really manage to circumcise the Himalayan yak with your bare hands?
Yes.
Did you feel ill?
No.
That is just so awesome.
Yes.
Bring it on!
No, you bring it on!
You bring it on!
Oh, no, you bring it on!
You bring it on!
Do you know the question of life, the universe, and everything?
No.
If we had only one word in our dictionary, would it be but?
Yes.
Dude, now stop being such a pussy and fight!
Are you going to bring it on or not?
Yeah, I am.
Well, so am I.
Oh, yeah?
Hell yeah!
I know I've only known you a little while, but you seem to be a guy with good judgment.
Yes.
I really think it can work between us.
Yes.
You really think so?
Yes.
Thanks.
Here I come!
Get your back. I'll just be going to the restroom for a minute.
You two were talking! What happened? What happened?
And don't worry. I improvised. I put pi into the binary form, and for every 1 I said yes, for every 0 I said no.
What did she say? Maybe things are still not beyond hope.
She hugged me and kissed me on my cheek. How could she do that?
What? She really did that?
Kat, I need to speak with you a minute.
Zal, I'll be back.
Zal seems to be a nice guy.
Oh, yeah, he is a very nice guy.
I spoke to him, made up my mind.
Oh, you really did.
Now I can say with full certainty that I am in love.
Hooray!
With you.
What? Did you just say what I heard you say?
You need me to spell it out. I am in love with you.
No, see, things are just not going in the right direction.
Am I not good enough?
No, I never said that.
Are you in love with someone else?
No, it's not that either.
Do you have hobbies?
It's none of those things.
What?
It's just that I'm a bit queasy about this commitment and stuff. I don't know.
How would you if you didn't give it a shot?
No. It's high time they make using a guy's life against himself illegal.
And it's high time they made it illegal to be an absolute sissy as well.
I have reasonable inhibition.
Then lose them then. You still can't dance 2 steps, can you?
Well, if you remove moving your hands and back like an epileptic baboon from the list of known dance forms, no.
Then come.
What? No.
Just shut up and concentrate. Left. Right. Turn. It's okay, come on. Get up.
To hell with the code! If you are done blowing, Mr. Director, may I ask you a question?
You know what that might be?
Well, this has been bugging me since some time that now that I'm no longer mortal, I still haven't been shipped off to Earth yet. And my memory is still perfectly intact. I mean, why is that so?
Well, Cat, you see, we are all aware of your peculiar inclination for mischief. Right when we least expected it, we didn't want to take any chances.
Mischief? What do you mean mischief?
Which brings us to the point why we let your memory linger for a while. Now don't get all worked up. I'm sure Ludogov Kapla will take good care of Enya and Zol.
What?
The task had to be completed by someone, right? I mean, you made such a royal mess of things. We naturally needed a professional touch. A professional who wouldn't shy away from taking drastic measures.
What the friggin' hell are you doing to them?
You already know that, don't you?
And you already know that it's just not going to work.
You have to quote statistics now. Amor section has had a success rate that is compared
Pure
to...
excrement. All Amor section does is create in their minds extreme obsessions towards each other. They will lose all their sanity. Nothing will remain but hollow, empty shells for heaven's sake.
Look, firstly, it's not like you left us with a whole gamut of options. And secondly, you know how much I'm enjoying this, don't you?
You can't be doing this.
Huh?
You can't be doing this.
Have you really lowered the standards of dickiness that you expect from me?
That was more of a rhetorical outburst, Director.
Ah, I see. Shall you have another go at that?
Certainly. You just can't be doing this.
As a matter of fact, we are doing it. Right now. I suppose Ludo's preparing the blade back in the earth. Now, why would you care? You are anyway going to have your memory erased after I get the honor of personally bringing you the good news from the earth. Shame though that Stellan Sands has to go. I like the poor chap. I always had fun laughing at all the bullshit you'd get hell-bent on proving. I mean, angelic beings cannot exist. Give me a break. Poor soul. Bless him.
Oh my. How could Zal not see? How did he not see? I need a pen. I need a pen.
Hey, what the hell?
Shut up for a moment if you
What?
can. Just need to account for whether the perturbation actually cancel out. Need to see whether the equations are correct in their
Do you mind
places.
letting me know what you're doing?
Oh friggin'
Now you
son.
really have to stop. What?
I've proved it.
What?
Mr. Director, I've proved the conjecture.
Conjecture.
Angelic beings cannot exist. Q E D.
It was certainly shocking that apocrastinists were unaware for so long that they are, in fact, a mathematical impossibility. But with Zal and Ket's path-breaking discovery, every last apocratinist ceased to exist, and Zal and Enya were saved just by the skin of their teeth. The rest of the earth, which for the record survived, meanwhile continued about their ways, unaware of the tumults that left the heavens above shaken. The end. Thank you.